Change is the way of life. Change is the way of life. But many times we are in the illusion that we are getting in the constant. For example, if we can mark a thing in a particular place, we think that it is the same place which is constant. But we are not thinking that it is not constant because our planet Earth is moving because of the diurnal motion. And the entire solar system is also revolving around some bigger sun. So where is the constant? With respect to entire space, it is not the constant. It is ever-changing locations. So don't put yourselves in the illusions that we are stable, we are constant. It is the change. We must accept it. Whether we like or do not like, it doesn't matter. Change is the only constant in this world. And that's why our mental stability should be there. We need to accept anything in the open market. It was my mistake not to go to use ATM card in ATM counter because of suspicion that I can damage my card. My card will be inserted in the machines and machine will take it, will not return it, and somebody can misuse my ATM card. Despite having ATM card around 2002, I never used. Only I started use after 2 years, when I found myself that I am getting backward for not using the ATM card. I had to stand in the queue and wait a lot of the time which I could have saved had I used this ATM card for withdrawal of the money, because I didn't accept the change. But in the competitive, ever-changing world, we must be prepared for ourselves for the change. And the stable mindset will kick us out of the competitions in this highly competitive world, where every industry and everybody is running behind the career prospect and also profitability for the organizations. If we cannot perform, we'll perish. And that's why we need to change our attitude. We need to change in the style of our jobs. We need to manage much more effective way the resources like the time, money, effort, and the motivations of the supporting staffs. All are required. And there are some law of diminishing return is applicable. This motivations, this money can work up to certain level. And after that, after reaching that level, the new level of demand automatically comes in the mind of the workforce. So we need to find out how to tackle in such situation to keep the workforce motivated enough to perform the job. So be prepared for that change. In such cases, you can think about that more sustainable way of replacing the old equipment, because the old equipment naturally demands more maintenance, more cost, more involvement of the manpower. Instead, if we can take this mentality by changing the conception that instead of maintaining after a certain period, we are just going to reject the item and replace with the new equipment that will be the capital in nature, that can make us much more sustainable. Because we need to accept that the change is the way of life and change is the only constant. And this acceptance of the change and implementations in a proper, effective way, that can make us constant to be stable in a particular organizations, along with the scope of the promotions, salary hike. should be adaptable to the change. Accept the change and welcome the change. Be a part of the ecosystems, contribute in an effective system. It is said that what you cannot accept, change it, and what you cannot change, accept it. I cannot change the inevitable changes that is going to be happen in this society, in this organizations, and also in this ecosystem. So I must accept that change is the way of life. And with that positive thinking, that changes happen for the betterment. Whatever changes happen from our Stone Age, all are basically for the betterment for the large portions of the populations. Temporarily, there are chances that some group of people are getting affected, but ultimately, it's the victory of the mankind. Instead of using the bullock and the plow, people are nowadays using tractor. And with the tractors, in an effective way, the lot of areas, acres, millions of the acres of the lands can be cultivated in an effective manner. By drip irrigation process, by sowing the improved seed, we can improve the productivity of the land, soil. Because some people accepted this change. Some people accepted the need to grow more crops. And that's why, after our independence, India has converted, India has developed a lot. From that time, being a large importer of the grain, rice, wheat, now India is the storehouse of the grain. India is exporting our rice, our wheat. In this world, India is nowadays the fourth largest exporters of the rice. How did it happen? Because some people accepted the change. And this change ultimately converted our country quite sustainable, economically stable, and having the more bargaining power. We can bargain with our grain with the oil producing states. Despite do not having the sufficient stock of the petroleum, we can bargain with them because it is their compulsion. They cannot eat sand or they cannot drink the petroleum, crude petroleum for sustenance of their life in the Middle East. They need the crops, the wheat, the pulses, the rice. And here lies our supremacy. And from grain deficient country, we become grain surplus country. And we are exporting our grains, we are gaining the foreign currency as well as it's our immense satisfactions to keep many lives alive. So my dear friend, don't be afraid of change. Gracefully accept the change and be happy. Reap the benefit of the change and sustain in that stage. And afterwards, try for the more productive way, the betterment. Again, implement. In this way, we can survive and we can fight any odds, any obstacle that might come practically in our endeavors. Thank you.